In this video, we are going to design a real-world end-to-end data ingestion pipeline. This is not a demo or a toy example. This is how modern data teams actually build pipelines in production. Before we write any code, we will focus on architecture and design because that's where most data engineering problems are solved. Let's start with the actual business problems we are solving. Imagine a real company. They have a Postgres database powering their application, and they also rely heavily on Google Sheets for operational and business workflows. Now, the analytics team wants historical data, fresh data, and clean data, but they cannot query production system directly. That's obvious. This is the key constraint. If you're doing any analytics, it must never slow down the applications. This combination, multiple sources, changing data, and analytics need is exactly where data engineering becomes hard. Before touching any tool, I want to understand the full data flow, right? Let's look at the architecture. On the left, we have Postgres, our transactional data source. The data is constantly changing, right? It can be inserts, updates, deletes. We also have Google Sheet, which represents business managed data. This data behaves very differently and need special handling. Both of these data sources flows through Meltano, which I will be describing in future videos what exactly this tool does and why we are using it. Right now, just consider this is responsible for ingestion from these two data sources. Now, once Meltano has ingested the data, it lands in a Snowflake in raw form, untouched form, right? The data which we have in sources is exactly what is right now in the Snowflake raw layer. Then we are using DBT, data build tool, to transform this data, right? We will be doing some transformations over this data to create some summary, to do some analytics, right? This will convert the raw data into analytics trading models. Finally, we have Airflow. This one will help us in scheduling or orchestrating the entire workflow process. It will not process data but coordinates when things run. Like it will schedule it. It will create the dependencies between the tasks, right? But we will not be using Airflow to do any actual ingestion or transformation. Let's move to the next slide. So the tool responsibilities. So we will be using Meltano for ingestion, right? One of the most common mistake I see is tool doing the wrong work. We are using tools which is supposed to be doing some different tasks, but we are using it for some different tasks. For example, I have seen many people using Airflow to do some ingestion work, right? To pull data directly from some sources, which it should not be doing. It's just Airflow is supposed to do some orchestration. It helps us in scheduling the jobs, not to do some actual heavy lifting of ingesting data and all. So Mentalo is responsible for ingestion. It handles incremental loads, state tracking, and retries. Snowflake is the center warehouse. It stores raw and transformed data and scales compute independently. dbt is used only for transformations. business logic, modeling, testing, and documentation. Airflow does not actually move the data, it orchestrates tasks, manage dependencies, and handle retries. Good data engineering is about clear separation of concerns. So, what we will not do. Now, let me tell you what we will not do in this series. We will not query OLTP system directly for analytics. So, OLTP, online transactional. So, OLTP here, if we look at right now, is Postgres for us, right? It stores transactional records for us. So, we will not querying directly Postgres databases to do some analytics. We will not reload full tables every day. That does not scale. I might be showing you how Meltano pulls a full load of data every time, but we will actually not be doing this in pipeline. And we will not mix ingestion, transformation, and orchestration. If a pipeline works only when nothing goes wrong, it's not real pipeline. Here's how this series will progress. We will first set up realistic data sources, not dummy data. It will be real world data. Then we will ingest data incrementally and handle changes properly. After that, we will transform the data using dbt and build some analytics model using it. Finally, we will orchestrate everything with Airflow, and then we will talk about failures, retries. This is exactly how pipelines are built in real companies. So in the next video, we will start building. We will set up a real Postgres source with inserts, updates, and deletes so we can simulate real production behavior. If, if you are serious about data engineering, not just tool, but real systems, follow this series step by step. Thank you. See you in next video.